So I want to go over a few things because one of the questions that I was asked just the other day is, why do you feel that a collapse is coming? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. The American people are running out of money. A collapse is coming not just to the stock market, not just to the real estate market, right? And a collapse is coming because our economy is going to see a slowdown. That's the reason why. Now, and this isn't just from my own research. I've done my own research, obviously, but at the same time, multiple economists are telling the exact same thing, that prices keep going up. Wages are not. Wages are not keeping up with inflation. That's a huge concern. And at the same time, as prices are going up, wages are either staying flat or actually coming down. The problem is that inflation is expected to continue to run. That's a huge concern. Just to give you an idea, wages are up about 3.4%. Okay? Inflation is at 8.5%. So we are at a 5.1% loss. That's why this is concerning. We also got retail spending, and the report came out today for last month that shows the consumers are actually spending 0.5% more. So what we are seeing is that people are not stopping their expenses. The spending is continuing. And when in a time when we're seeing record inflation, the time when we're still going through a pandemic, we're dealing with a war over between Russia and Ukraine. This isn't getting better. The American people are running out of money. Now, granted, most of this is due to rising prices of gasoline and food, but here's the thing that you need to keep in mind. When gas prices go up, so does almost everything else. Everything. You go to a grocery store, the food is more expensive. You go to a retail store, the clothing and anything that you can buy is more expensive, right? You go to, let's say, the golf course. Well, it's more expensive because you got to get the people to work. It means you got to pay them more. You got to pay them for their gas that they're spending to get to work. You got to pay them for their time, which their time is now more valuable due to inflation, due to everything going up in price. So it doesn't matter what it is. The prices are going up. But here's the problem. The problem is that food prices are expected to go up even further. I've been addressing this for the past few weeks, maybe even the past, over a month, that we are seeing major food shortages. This isn't new. The new thing now is we've seen a recent storm surge that's causing even more problems. I remember turning on Facebook, logged into Facebook just this morning, and it says, pray for the farmers. There's a whole big thing, pray for the farmers. Because what we saw was, we saw a little bit of snow, and then it was sunny, then we saw more snow this morning. That's a huge concern. We saw power outages. I've seen trees laying in the road because of all the weight from the snow, right? That's just here in Washington State. But that's just part of the concern. Again, we got the bird flu that killed 23 million birds, right? Turkeys, chicken, eggs, gone. Just gone. That's concerning. And guess what? Again, it doesn't mean we're going to go hungry. That's not the problem. The problem is food is now more expensive because supply and demand. There's only so much supply. There's only so much stock out there of this food. And once that's gone or it's limited, the demand is still the same. So we got this increased demand, but our supply is still very, very low. What that means is prices are going to be more expensive because everybody's fighting for this little bit of stock right here. All these people, all the demand is fighting for this little bit of stock. That's a huge concern. But again, that's not the only reason why the American people are running out of money. That's part of it. Savings accounts are getting hit hard. They're dwindling down. We've had to deal with a pandemic for the past 2 years. That was tough. This is very tough. Now, I would hate to go back to what we saw last year or 2 years ago because there were so many unknowns. But now that we know what happened, the issue is, how do we fix it? Well, first off, inflation has hit us so hard because the past couple of years, because of all the stimulus that the federal government has sent out, right? And I talked about this earlier today, stimulus checks. There was unemployment benefits of $300 or $600 on top of your state unemployment benefits. There was PPP loans for businesses. And some of these businesses didn't actually use the money for much, just kind of pad their bank accounts. Okay? We saw child tax credit payments. Those are big. They helped millions and millions of children get out of poverty. But all those children, or a majority of them, have gone right back into poverty because those payments stopped. But again, our savings accounts have been hit hard. Investments are dropping. If you had investments, they probably lost money over the past 3 months. Things aren't looking great. We still got a lot of concerns over what the Federal Reserve is going to do. How fast are they going to hike interest rates? How quickly are they going to do that? And are they going to crash the market? Are we going to dip into a recession? We saw the yield curves, they inverted, last week or 2 weeks ago? And they have since corrected, which is great. But at the same time, that's still a concern, is we did invert for just a short period of time. And usually it's just a little bit after that we are in a recession. So are we heading that way now? Possibly. And then let's talk about real estate prices. Because here's the other thing. The American people are running out of money because their investments are coming down. Real estate prices are coming down. So their net worth, the American people's net worth, has actually been reduced because of all these decreases, because of interest rates going up, being over 5%. That's troubling. Now, keep this in mind as well. Many people are still trying to buy a house. They're trying to buy a house when interest rates are up over 5%. They're trying to buy a house at the height of the market when rates are going sky high, and people are trying to buy a house because they're worried about FOMO, fear of missing out. They're worried that if they don't get something now and we continue to see inflation in a hot housing market, they're not going to be able to afford something in a year or 2 years. So they want to buy now. That's difficult because my prediction is the housing market is cooling off. We're already seeing reports. We're already seeing that happen in certain pockets of the country. And it may not be exactly where you're living right now. We may not see the housing market see a dip or a decline in every single market, but the likelihood of that happening is very small. Chances are the entire housing market is going to get hit. And if you are trying to buy a house right now, and again, I'm not trying to give you real estate advice. I'm not trying to give you financial advice. I'm just telling you, this could be a huge problem. If somebody buys a house today, they see it decline in value, let's say 20%. How likely are they going to be to sell? Probably not very likely. But how likely are they to regret their decision? And if they regret that decision, what other decisions will they regret moving forward? And what other decisions will they put off because they don't want to regret that decision again? Again, there's a lot of issues. But the problem is the American people are running out of money. We're seeing those reports. There's still, a bunch of money sitting in savings accounts. A bunch of money. But who holds that money? Who holds it? Is it the billionaires, the multimillionaires? Or is it the people that make $30,000 per year? No. The lower income earners, even the middle income earners, are not the ones holding on to the majority of this cash. It's the upper class, the multimillionaires, the billionaires that have trillions of dollars just sitting in their bank account. That's an issue, is that the majority of the American people are running out of money or have ran out of money already. And there's no additional relief coming. Okay? So, what I wanted to do from this video is not to get you to worry about the amount of money that you have, but get you to understand that this is the direction we're going. Things are going to cost more. Your wages are likely not to increase anymore. So at the same time that things are going up, we're seeing inflation continue to run. What you need to do, according to many experts, is to save money, pay off debt, and find a way to earn a little bit more. Those are the 3 things that you need to do. So, if you have any questions whatsoever, you can always ask your questions down in the comment section below. But what I recommend, my personal recommendation, Find something that you are good at. Maybe it's, consulting, selling stuff online, right? Doing a service, right? You could do that. Maybe you want to make YouTube videos. Find something that you are good at. Put in a little bit of time and effort into that. Turn that into a side hustle, make some money from it. Take that money and either pay off debt, put it into savings, or you could always invest. But if you're going to invest for the long term, right? That's my recommendation to you, is figure out a way to make a little bit more money and start doing that today. So that's all I got for you guys right now. As always, have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.